I made over $2,000 at market open slamming QQQ calls and then puts right after. Here are some members gains, led them to the bank today. Let's get into how I made money.
Jump right into it. So easy play at open here. I'm the king of the open. What I'm looking for is to make my money in the first hour. If you're a RealCap member, you already know this. If you're not a member, that's what I like to do. I like the action at open. The first hour, the first 2 hours, get our money, make our money, call it a day, move on with our day. And so one of the first things I was looking for was Q here. Now, the reason why was because we saw a pretty nice gap up here. And we saw, the market still kind of melt up overnight with Microsoft pretty much saving the market as tech has been very weak. Microsoft earnings, to be exact. So we just saw a little bit of continuation of that, and we saw this gap overnight. So that's my first thought process, right? Q's gapping up to my 692 RealCap zone, this supply zone right here. Sellers are definitely there. What I wanted to see was, all right, it's low volume pre-market. We did see right before open that this green candle, they pushed it right up, right into this zone before open. So one thing I wanted to tell to my members as I'm trading live, if you're a top member, if you're a member, you get my live sessions as well. This was awesome. First thing I looked for was this. Well, we do have a gap, which is from a daily gap, which is from yesterday's high to the open of where we're at right now, right? And I have to drop to the 15-minute chart to kind of show you this a little bit. So you can see that where we kind of opened up and the difference between yesterday's high. So I ended up kind of just marking this zone right here. This was my just exactly, yesterday's high, and how I got there was right there. You can see right there was yesterday's high, closed in between these zones. So I knew a daily gap is opening. Even though we're opening up higher here, it's very possible that we could come down. Now, if it's low volume and buyers step in, I am willing to play calls at open for a move to my 695 target. So that's exactly what happened. At open, we saw very low volume, buyer stepped in, and so we slammed calls. I went with these 696 calls, got it filled about 170 a contract. These ended up rocketing to 250, and we hit my target up there, and I said, look, I'm selling all up here. We trimmed into the move, bang, made a bag, easy, first win out the way. Everyone was loving it. And then from there, we wanted to see what they would do. So it took a little bit, and then the 15 minutes started to fade. And as we started going red on this 15-minute candle, that's when I told the team, all right, they're going for the daily gap. And if they're going for the daily gap, then this down here will be our target, which is 684-ish. Q will go red. So as we start fading down, puts started working. RealCap ad, let us know QQQ puts were working as it is scanning the option chain and letting us know that, hey, these premiums are increasing with the move. This is a real move. Get into it. And so a good win as I coached the RealCap team to bank heavily. Here's some RealCap member gains. More if you missed it already. Absolutely killed it. Beautiful Friday. And as we kind of came down, hit our target, we did hit the 681, 682 demand. So we went a little bit lower. Zone to zone, of course, RealCap strategy here, zone to zones, RealCap zones. We kind of just stayed in range. And if we get back on the hourly, this is where I kind of told the team as the second hour approached, we opened up on that second hour defending that demand, meaning we're not going lower. And you can see those next 2 hourly candles held that demand again. And we just pushed back into range. I knew this was going to happen up here. I knew that. I'm a seasoned trader. I know when something is going to continue or not. It kind of faked out. I'm sure a lot of people there. I knew they were going to push this back into range. I didn't feel like playing that. It's just range. It's Friday. We've been on fire. Perfect week. Perfect day. No misses. And so that's what I said. Hey, guys, go enjoy your day. Let's enjoy the rest of our day. Beautiful win. Sit back, and we'll be back here Monday for another big win. So, of course, really good Friday. I wanted to recap that. Another gap fill, another just zone to zone. Even if there was no gap fill, we would have just played zone to zone, level to level. That's why it's very important to chart. That's why it's very important to have your levels, guys. If you want the zones, if you want my live trades, if you want to be a part of the RealCap team, wap.com/realcapital, guys. I'm going to make you so much money. So I'll see you guys on the next video.